Hey there guys, it's Aarava here, bringing you a dual com today with Ryan L83, and today we're going to be talking about the Formula 1 2013 season. So I think one of the first talking points is going to be Vettel, and will he be able to win a fourth title in a row next season? I think it's possible, but I don't really think it's going to be good for the sport, and personally I've got a bit bored of the guy. You know, he's been winning too much lately.
I mean, when he won his first race in Monza in '08, yeah, it was good. It was obviously I saw something in him that could be he's a future race winner in multiple races, and obviously could be a world champion. And then when he won the first two, I thought, yeah, he deserves it. And then afterwards, he dominated the season. And then this season, it's just been more exciting. It's more hard for Red Bull to win the titles this season
Yeah,
than
I think that's a good argument in terms of I think even Vettel's won this third title in a row, but this third year has not been easy for him, and to come out on top of a season where we had seven different winners in the first seven races is quite something.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the car because obviously the regulations, which we'll be going into later in this video, and Adrian Newey's had obviously a lot. You couldn't really change a lot on the car because obviously the regulations are the same as well for next season will be the same as 2012 because obviously as you said we had seven different winners. I think we had about nine different winners overall. I think,
Yeah,
and yeah, he's going to find it really hard this season. I think, or next season if Red Bull going to give Vettel a fourth championship in a row, and obviously Red Bull's fourth constructors championship in a row as well. So
yeah,
if
definitely.
if Vettel doesn't really win the title, maybe finish that maybe fourth, third or fourth in the championship, he might get a bit annoyed that obviously Red Bull aren't the championship winning team anymore, and then there could be a possibility of him going to Ferrari, which we've heard about a couple of months ago when on BBC Sport from a certain Mr. Eddie Jordan
Yeah,
saying.
I think also recently who's the Ferrari boss, Luca de Mazzellamo or however you pronounce it, said that he would like Vettel instead of Hamilton in the future. So I think there's even more gossip going on about Vettel going to Ferrari eventually. And Vettel himself has obviously previously, a few months ago, said that eventually he would like to go to Ferrari because that's usually where all the top drivers like drive at least one season with. So, going on to the regulations and rule changes for next year, not much is actually changing. I think one of the major changes that I'm going to be interested in is I think the FI were thinking of changing the rules for DRS usage during practice and qualifying and changing it to the same sort of setup we have in the race where only certain zones you're allowed to use it, which is going to change not only the real life Formula 1, but I think for us as commentators on YouTube, that sort of factor of you're in qualifying, and if you're in a slow car, you're going to really use the DRS every single time you can. Well, now you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, I think the FIA made a great decision on that. If I'm honest, I mean in qualifying, yeah, this season you can use it anywhere you want. I mean, example, Eau Rouge, obviously they block it, and then you go up the hill. That
Yeah,
DRS zone you can use, and then after that you can use it anywhere else. And I'm thinking, if you're using that in the race, there's only that one DRS zone which is at the top of Eau Rouge,
yeah,
and I'm just thinking it's. I just thought it was pointless when they said, "Oh, use it. You can use it anywhere you want," but
that's
now.
yeah. Go on.
But now with obviously you get these double DRS zones like Monza and Abu Dhabi to name a few. I just think it's right, and it gives these slower teams a chance to maybe it might to close the gap.
Yeah, going on that, you have those developments of double DRS. So I think the FI have made a smart move in terms of kind of stopping DRS being a sort of aerodynamic kind of performance advantage and just being what it was meant to be, an overtaking tool during the race.
Yeah, and also as you said, the double DRS that's been banned as well,
Yeah,
2013 as well, which is another good thing. Just basically gives more teams, more minor teams like maybe Toro Rosso, Caterham, Marussia. I would have said HRT, but obviously they're not here in the sport anymore. But
yeah.
Um, it gives them maybe to catch up with the likes of maybe Mercedes and Lotus, maybe get a bigger midfield pack, and then they could even possibly go in and challenge the McLaren, Red Bull, and Ferrari in some races.
Yeah, I think the Mercedes style double DRS has been banned, but I think actually the Lotus one that Lotus were developing is still available to any teams. So that's going to be quite interesting if Lotus try and develop that even more. Might be a bit of a risky move because they never got it done. They were trying for like 6 races, I think, at the end to try and develop it, and they just gave up at the end.
That's what I mean.
And just generally, the rest of the rules haven't really changed too much. So as you said before, Adrian Newey and the likes of all the Ferrari designers and McLaren designers, they're going to find it tough to try and break themselves away from each other and try and gain that extra performance for the next season. I think that's it's going to make it definitely an interesting first race. So moving on to now drivers next season. What are you looking forward to? What are we looking forward to? Personally, I'm looking forward to seeing Jenson Button doing well in McLaren. Hopefully, if the car is going to be moulded around him and Perez, that sort of smooth driving style. Also, Max Chilton and Marussia. I saw him in GP2 a couple of times. He looked really good with overtaking, and I think in Formula One he's gonna eventually grow and maybe get into a mid-team, car in a few years. And Lewis Hamilton and Merck, that's definitely going to be very, very interesting. Seeing a man who's used to winning being in a car that perhaps won't until 2014.
Yeah, probably the main one for me is Sergio Perez. I mean, he's taken a massive step from driving at Sauber, and he's going to be joining McLaren, a big team with a big heritage and big history. And I really do hope that he does well there, and he could be not a title contender, but maybe like a top five finisher.
Yeah,
I mean, as we've seen this season, well, 2012 season in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Kuala Lumpur, Monza, to name two big races that he's done well in, and
yeah,
also Canada as well. And he's the tyre specialist. He can do one less stop than every driver on the grid. So
definitely.
McLaren have a big advantage with that. That he has the awareness of how the tyres work and how he can manage them. So McLaren could possibly can last longer on the tyres as they've been struggling this season. And the other one, Lewis Hamilton. I mean, when I found out when I was at uni that he joined Mercedes, I was thinking, what's he doing? Why is he doing it? But I think probably the reason why he might have left was probably the McLaren car kept breaking down with reliability issues, and he wasn't finishing well. And he might have just thought to himself, "Oh, let's try Mercedes and let's try and build the team up, make them stronger." And as you said, I don't think you win a lot of races. Maybe you win the one or two, but I think he's just waiting for 2014 with the new engine rules, which are going to be.
Yeah, I think
Well,
he's made a smart move in that sort of sense. If Merck really do, as rumored, get their act together for 2014 with the new engine, I think then he's put his eggs in a good basket for 2014. And going back to Perez, yeah, I think definitely that tyre sort of management strategy. Perez does like to make a lot of risky moves, and I think having a teammate like Jenson Button who makes calculated decisions might help grow Perez as a driver, and as he said, might get him into that top 5 bracket, sort of like Mark Webber does for Red Bull, just hanging in there with the championship contenders.
yeah, and also Kimi Raikkonen as well. I wanted to say, came back, finished third in the championship, did miles better than Michael Schumacher did when he came back to the sport. But I think he could be a title contender next season. He's just got to get the right car for him, and I just really hope Lotus give him that because Raikkonen does deserve a championship, if I'm honest.
Yeah, definitely. I think also all the fans have really embraced his comeback, and he's given us some legendary moments. In Abu Dhabi, he probably gave us numerous ones just there, but throughout the whole season, I think people have enjoyed having Kimi back, and I think if Lotus do make a good car, which I do think it might happen. I honestly do think that maybe they might sort of be challenging Ferrari for that sort of third championship contender because lately Ferrari haven't been pulling their act together in terms of design. So next year, Pirelli are going to be introducing some even softer tyres. We've heard from Paul Embry, the main guy at Pirelli, has said that we're going to take it a step further. So that might lead to some even more dramatic races at the beginning, because it seems usually at the beginning of the season the teams really don't know what's going on, and by the end they've got on top of it for those 5 in a row one pit stop races. So I think it's a good thing that they're trying to make it even softer.
Yeah, I mean, 2011 when Pirelli came into the sport in 2011, and we saw the chaoticness of the races with the tyre strategies, I just thought we've finally got a tyre company that has made some good tyres and is going to give us some epic racing. 2012 wasn't like that. I mean, you get the occasional one stop in most races, and I'm just like, this is not what I wanted to see from Pirelli this season. I wanted to see them make some even more good tires, so you get to see some more pit stops and some more wear on the tires. But as you've said, obviously they brought a new tire to test at Brazil
Yeah.
this season, and it looked pretty promising from what I saw. But they just got to get back to where it was on 2011, in my personal opinion, just to create some more exciting racing, and I really hope they do that.
Yeah, I think also with certain like choices of what tire compound they brought to certain races, especially India, that was quite, to put it, quite small, quite, conservative there. With I think what was it, medium and hard compound. It was too conservative. I think really they need to really attack it aggressively and go, super soft and softs for races like that. Even if there's 4 pit stops, it makes stuff interesting. It makes mistakes happen, and that's what creates great races.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should bring a rule in where every track has to have the soft tire in every race,
Yeah.
and then they have the choice of whether it's going to be hard or a medium compound tire for that track. But we're not obviously the FIA, are we? So,
Yeah, that's a quite an interesting idea actually, putting in a compulsory tire compound.
but I mean, what do you guys think? Leave in the comments to this video what you think. Do you think they should have a soft compound tire for every race, and have and let the Pirelli team decide what if it's a medium or hard compound tire to go with the softs?
Also, on the other side of the argument, some of you may also be, arguing against Pirelli because we knew at the beginning of the season some fans were batting out at how unpredictable it was, and some of the other arguments were that it was, you weren't able to root for your driver because it was too unpredictable. So, also leave in the comments, guys, if you think it's, too unpredictable for you guys to, really root for someone. Because especially at the beginning of the season with those 7 different winners, I know I found it difficult to actually root for Jenson Button when, it could be anyone, like Maldonado having that amazing drive. It seemed like if you had the best setup for the tyres at that particular race on that particular day with that particular temperature, you could really just go out and blitz it. So finally, moving on to our final topic, F1 going into the future. Obviously, 2014 is where all the major changes are going to happen. I think the FIA are trying to make everything greener, but personally, I really want them to stick with the V8s. But I think there's no going back now. They've made the signatures for all the V6 turbos, and if you haven't heard what a V6 turbo sounds like, search it on YouTube. It sounds so horrible and so whiny. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, when I found out about this, I mean, it's a good thing they want to go green. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's good for the environment and stuff, but I've had to listen to a V6 turbo engine, and oh my god, it's horrific. Really is, and it's gonna put me off a bit off F1. I mean, I really like the V8 engines they've got now, and what's stopping them from making a environmentally friendly V8 engine and having a bit of a turbo on it? But we're not obviously the FIA, and if they think it's deemed fine for the V6s and they're happy with the sound they're producing, then
Yeah,
go for it. But
and
in
also, yeah,
my personal opinion, they should just keep the V8s.
yeah, definitely same. I think also another part of going green. I think eventually in the future the FIA wanted to make all the aerodynamic parts more efficient, and what this is going to essentially be is creating less drag down the straight. But at the same time, there's the counter argument that also that means in the corners there'll be less downforce, so overall lap times will be getting slower and slower. So I know they're trying to go green. I'm all for going green, but why do you have to try and dramatically make these cars slower? All the lap records are all in that 2004-5 period where all the cars had the most downforce they've ever had. And I know they brought in that new regulation for 2009 to make all the bodywork nice and smooth because they felt the cars were looking too ugly. But this is Formula One. It's motorsport. We're trying to go as fast as we can.
Yeah, I mean, another thing I wanted to talk about as well is obviously we had the massive incident in Spa with the 5-car pileup of Grosjean, Alonso, Perez. Who else was in there? Senna, I think it was. But
Yeah.
for safety, I've been hearing rumours that they're going to get some like glass pod thing over the drivers' heads, so it looks like a Le Mans style theme to it.
Yeah, I've seen a few like concept art pictures of them. Yeah, it does look a lot like that.
I'm split about it. I mean, yeah, it's a big benefit to safety and safety to the drivers, but it's an open road car championship, and it's got to be like that. It's got to stay like that. But when,
Yeah, it's part of the heritage, really. That's what the sport's built upon. When you see Formula One, usually in a dictionary or something like that, the one-line description is open wheel racing.
no, I mean, if they take that away, it's taking a massive big chunk of the F1's history that we've had with open wheel sports, and to do that, it's just not for me. It might be a big turn off for me if I'm honest, but obviously safety is the main concern.
And then also at the same time, you have, altercations if you have like a glass pod over the driver, in terms of, like Lewis Hamilton in India had to switch his steering. Well, what do you do if something like that happens? You've got a glass pod over your head, that's going to be some complicated design to figure out how you're going to open it in like a split second.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I mean, how they can't they have to take the glass pod out? That's going to be about a minute if you got to unscrew it all, and then they have to fling the wheel in, connect it, give them back the thing, pull the pod down, get it all screwed in again, and that's maybe 2 minutes down the road. And they could be lapped easily.
Yeah, and then at the same time also, if someone has a crash and your front's right into a barrier, and you're meant to, drivers are meant to be able to get out really fast. If you have a glass pod, yes, it's safe for accidents like the one we had at Spa, where Grosjean was literally inches away from Fernando Alonso's hands. But when it comes to places like where, there's a fire in the car and the driver has to get out quickly, that's not going to be a quick exit.
Nope. It's just something that they need to look into, get some more research, and give it maybe a couple of years, do some testing and stuff with maybe dummies and stuff, and before they say to the drivers, "We have this idea. What do you think of it?" But,
Yeah, definitely.
well, sadly, guys, that's the end of today's video, and I hope you enjoyed it. As always, like and favourite this video, and also subscribe to my channel, Ryan Littlemore 1. The link will be in the description below, and also to Arav as well. His will be in the description as well, and also in the annotations on the screen. And want to thank him for letting me come on in, doing this dual con with him. Appreciate it to him, and hopefully I'll return the favour to him over the course of the 2013. But as always, guys, wherever in the world you are, have a great day and have a great 2013. And let's hope for a good 2013 season in F1. From Ryan, see you later.
And from me, Arav, see you later, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.